Welcome to the Coach's Corner. This is a video series where we answer the questions that we get about coaching. My name is Dawn Pateau, and I have the pleasure of being joined today by two other coaches, Lauren Ammon and Cheryl Zach. I hope you find this series helpful.
I'm going to throw in a question here for us. So when you were making that determination of what school to go to, what was a driving factor for you to make the choice for you to go in the direction that you went in?
Yeah, I can take that first. So I make decisions based on two data points, which are
Data.
which are logic, data, and my intuition. And Lauren knows because she's coached me before, I often have no idea what my emotion is. But so for me, it was those 2 points. So what is the data about it? What does it cost? What is the time? How much investment does it require? Not only financial, but time investment and that sort of thing. And then, of course, what is my gut telling me? And and I'm sure you guys did this, I investigated several coaching programs and did discovery calls with them. And in the end, it came down to my gut telling me that this was going to be a good fit for me. And of course, I went to IPAC as well, as both of you. So,
yeah.
Lauren?
My shocking, exact opposite of Cheryl. So I entered in 2019, I guess. But a couple years prior, I had investigated different coaching programs, and I had spoken with somebody who was a professional coach, and he gave me a little bit of guidance. And at that time, I had researched IPEC, CTI, and then he's like, well, look at other things that may not be as intensive as those two things. And so I did. So fast forward to late 2018, I was in a point in my life where, Cheryl knows this, there was no way I was going to continue to be able to emotionally and mentally continue down the path that I was on. So it was this one day where, I be fully transparent, was so frustrated. I was like, there's something has to change. And it was just one of those, let me research IPEC again. I don't know why IPEC came into my mind. Let me research it again. And then there was something on the website it talked about energy, but then it said something to the effect of, are you not showing up the way that you want to? And there was always this nugget in my tuition of like, I know how I'm presenting myself in the moment is not who I truly am. And there was, I don't even remember the language on the website, but there was a sentence that spoke to me. I called them immediately. And when I spoke to the enrollment specialist, Teresa, we'll never forget the conversation I had with her. And because she's an IPEC trained coach, the story she told me, based on what she uncovered from me, spoke to me at a level that I cannot articulate. And I was hooked.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Oh, that's great. Mine was literally just a referral from a friend, and because I knew that person and I trusted her and knew the journey she had been on, when she said, this is the school I went to and this was my experience and it was phenomenal. But I think, like Lauren was just saying, then talking with Kim, who was my specialist, and having the conversation, I felt like it was the right program. And the other thing that I would encourage people to do is like looking beyond, once you're done with the course, how much support do you receive afterwards? And so I went through in 2014 and finished in 2015. So, what we're now talking nearly 6 years ago, when I picked things back up, last year and really started to get more involved again with IPEC, I was really worried, like, is all that going to go away? Do I still have, quote, standing? Is there still tools and available to me? Are the assessments that I purchased still there? Phenomenal experience of having all of that come back, really like a 5-year absence from being on, we'll call it the student hub that we have. And just that, I could pick up the phone and I could get immediate help and support on things when I was ready. Like Cheryl said, not everybody walks out of the course and decides to be a coach full time, because I was in a corporate environment up until that point. And I was like, okay, now I'm ready to make the switch to do that. So I think that's the other piece, as well as if you think you want to go down the certification path and get your ICF credentials that Cheryl was talking about, making sure that is that program going to support you when you're ready for it. And because of the length of time that we spent in training and coaching and getting the mentor coaching, when I went for my ACC credentials this past summer, I didn't have to go out and hire a bunch of other people to do that because the program had supported me with that when I went through it. So I think it's another factor whenever anybody calls me and says, hey, I'm thinking about going to a coach program. What are your thoughts? Like, regardless of what you do, if you have the intention to get certified through ICF after you're done, make sure you're at the right level of certification from the program that you choose. So you're not having to make investments later, pay more upfront for it. So you get that richness and all of those elements that I think are really important to the total experience.
Yeah.